There are a lot of people bitter with marriage, just bitter with people because they have not had a good experience. In fact, some of you here today are fearful of marriage because of what you've seen. But let's be clear about this. The family institution was not only God's idea, it's God's creation. It's God's idea and it's God's creation. And our hope is in Jesus alone. And so I would challenge you, number one, make sure you're secure that your identity is in Christ. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to work or not to pay your bills. These are things we need to do. But your identity isn't even in your job position or your job salary. She says adultolescence is a place outside of time where you get the freedoms of adulthood without all of the adult responsibilities of a mortgage, spouses, children, aging parents, and other things that make eternal adolescence seem so appealing. But then she rebukes it a little bit. I like the second part. But it can be a form, listen men, of escapism, denial, and delayed adulthood. And it's accomplished by a lot of play, feelings of invincibility, and self-obsession. More pleasure is sought in things, dreams, or people than in God. A relationship with God is reduced to mere religion. The spiritual disciplines devolve into mere duty or even legalism. Public worship becomes an obligation and not a privilege. Obviously, this is not the profile of a growing Christian. When you value the presence of God, man, when we worship, are you in with us? Are you participating in the worship, or you just here? Talking to saved men now. If you're an unbeliever, I understand why you stand and put your hands in your pocket, because you don't know the hope that you have. But when I see believers do that, I'm wondering where here's what you need to pray. Here's what David said. He said, restore to me the joy of salvation. In other words, someone else can fill his title, but the place he had in there, even though we know Judas blew it and Judas betrayed Jesus, all of us, even the disobedient men, have a place. So even if you don't come to Christ, you're going to be judged. Are you operating in the place that the Lord has for you, man of God? You have a place in the earth, man. This should give you joy. This should give us strength. This should give us power that I matter. But nowhere am I saying for him to stay and live off unemployment comfortably. And the God, we work. We don't depend on the government. That's why Jesus is the second Adam, because Adam didn't quite finish everything when we get to chapter 3, but Jesus did. The man of God is a finisher. We do our work with excellence. Here's what it means, man. No shortcuts. Lord knows I've been guilty of shortcuts. You close the deal with integrity. You don't fuzz the numbers. You don't look at them. I've been guilty. It's not a man of God. Man of God finishes.